Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we have some news about that special edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We have a whole lot of Sonic related news, as well as another game that Kojima is apparently working on. We have those topics and more to cover, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can keep you up to date with all the latest gaming news. Now let's get started. First, let's go ahead and jump into this Xenoblade Chronicles 3 pre-order information. We had this tweet sent out by Nintendo of America yesterday. Pre-purchase for the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Special Edition launching exclusively on the My Nintendo store will begin tomorrow. The Special Edition will be limited to 2 per account. Be sure to keep an eye out for an update once the pre-orders are officially open. Now, we don't have a time yet of when this is going to go live, but it sounds like Nintendo is going to send out a tweet, so make sure you have notifications turned on for Nintendo if you're wanting to get that and jump on it quickly. Now, there's no information yet as to whether the special edition will ship and arrive by release date. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, we had that story that the European My Nintendo shop stated that the game will ship on time, but the extras will arrive at a later date. Now, the Nintendo UK account said that the pre-orders for the special edition won't happen until closer to the game launch. So this makes me think that Nintendo is giving priority to the US market, and we may see the entire bundle ship at launch. So make sure you keep an eye out for that pre-order launch today, and if I see it come up before Nintendo, I'll definitely tweet out a link so you can follow me over on Twitter. It's the same name here as YouTube. Next, we have confirmation of another game that Kojima is apparently working on. This headline from VGC: Kojima is reportedly working on a horror game called Overdose. It's claimed that the game stars Death Stranding's actress Margaret Qualley. Now, this doesn't seem to be related to the sequel to Death Stranding that leaked out by the actor who played the lead in that one. This seems to be a completely different game. The article in VGC goes on to say, the footage reportedly shows Qualley's character using a flashlight to navigate dark corridors from a third-person perspective, but it's claimed the game may be playable in first person too. The video is said to close with a jump scare before displaying Game Over, followed by a Hideo Kojima game, and finally Overdose. And floating out on the interwebs has been this image of what looks to be the title screen. Now, I've not really confirmed this, but I have seen several outlets posting it, so it seems to be pretty legit. Now, it's also been rumored by Jeff Grubb for a while that Kojima has been in talks with Xbox for the company to publish their next game. So this does make me wonder if this might be an Xbox exclusive. And there's also been a lot of rumors that we'll see something from Kojima at the Summer Game Fest. Kojima and Jeff Keighley seem to have a pretty good relationship, and I think Kojima said something about revealing something next year, but don't quote me on that. And in some Sonic news, we did have that Sonic Central presentation yesterday, and there wasn't any major announcements coming out of that. We had things like costumes coming to Fall Guys, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie getting a Blu-ray and digital release, some food licensings, but during that they also mentioned that there was going to be another IGN presentation on Sonic Frontiers. So I wanted to take another look at Sonic Frontiers with this newest video, and this one's actually narrated, so they explained a little bit of what was going on. Now, there have been some complaints online about pop-up in this game and the video quality, and the narration in this video did indicate that it was an earlier build and they hoped that that would get fixed. And honestly, I think some of the video quality we're seeing when things are moving fast across the screen may have to do with the compression of when they captured this footage. But some more of the information coming out from this is we get a plot for the game. It seems that Sonic flies into a wormhole with Tails and Amy, and then he finds himself separated from them and he's alone on an isolated island. Now these mysterious islands are the game's major setting, and they try to create a whole feel of mystery around them, including the music, so it has a lot more of a mysterious feel than previous Sonic games have had. Now they gave this quote here from the creative officer at Sonic Team. Past games in the Sonic series have taken different tones depending on their story and themes. This time, these mysterious islands are the game's major setting. That's why our artists have worked hard to create a mysterious mood. Now the creative officer also said he would prefer to call the game Open Zone rather than Open World. And in this quote here, he says, "For Sonic, the core here is a 3D action game. Our basic idea was to have that take place in an open space. What sets Sonic Frontiers apart is this different approach to an open world game. So as you go through the game, you'll complete puzzles and challenges, and that's how you'll gain access to new sections of the map." They also emphasize that there's different ways to defeat enemies and different routes to get to them. Now they did say that you can collect experience and use that to unlock a skills tree. And I do like this idea rather than just having all of your abilities right up front. This gives the game a bit more depth, whereas there might be areas you can't reach until you unlock a certain skill on a skill tree. And overall, I'm trying to keep an open mind with this game. I know we were looking at builds from probably a few months ago, and we really don't have an idea of when it's coming out. We also don't have a look at what the HUD looks like, so there may be a lot there that may make the game a lot easier to understand what's going on. Now, if we get any more major reveals on this from IGN, I'll make sure to let you all know, but make sure you go out and watch that actual IGN video. It's only about 8 minutes, so it's a pretty quick watch. Next, we get an update for the House of the Dead remake for the PlayStation that looks pretty cool. We have this from the House of the Dead Twitter account. "It's time, dust off your PlayStation Move and prepare to purge the Curian Mansion. Make sure your game on PlayStation 4 is up to date and enjoy the House of the Dead remake PlayStation Move update." Now, if you played this game with gyro controls, you know you constantly have to recenter it, but using something like PlayStation Move would give you a closer representation of a real light gun game. Unfortunately, this does not support the PS5 camera, so you would have to have a PS4 one. And if you don't have the PlayStation Move bundle, right now it's about $150 on Amazon. So it's not a cheap way to go, but if you already have it, it would be a cool addition to this game. As far as I know, there's no other way to replicate this on, say, the Switch or the Xbox. Now, you did have the Kinects that was on the 360 and the Xbox One, but that doesn't work on the Xbox Series systems, so it seems doubtful to me that they would add the support. But if you have the PlayStation 4 version of House of the Dead Remake and a PlayStation Move controller and setup, let us know in the comments how well it plays. Next, there's been some rumors floating around about a sequel to 1-2 Switch for quite a while now, and it looks like we may have an update to that story. This coming from Fanbyte, the wild story behind Nintendo's unannounced 1-2 Switch sequel. The sequel to 1-2 Switch is hiding behind closed doors at Nintendo while the company figures out what to do with it. So apparently this sequel to 1-2 Switch is finished, but when it playtested so poorly that Nintendo doesn't want to release it as is as a full retail game. This article goes on to say it's unclear what Nintendo plans to do with the game now. Some sources have said Nintendo executives will not be swayed on the idea of a full $60 retail release for the game, citing how well the original 1-2 Switch did in similar circumstances with poor critical consensus. Some others within the company have suggested making the game an add-on bonus to the higher tier of Nintendo Switch Online, similar to Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Happy Home Expansion, and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack, especially as the game is so dependent on online play from massive lobbies. The quality might matter less, sources argue, if no one is actually paying anything extra for it. So at this point, we don't know if we'll see this game get reworked or if it will become a free add-on to the Switch Online expansion pack service. But if we do see it get announced for the Switch Online expansion pack service, expect it to not be all that great. And finally, if you're a member of the Nintendo Switch Online service, Nintendo's added some new icons to that. Now they've added some additional Animal Crossing ones, but the one I'm more excited for is this. You can also redeem your My Nintendo Platinum points to collect custom icons from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, available until June 4th at 6 p.m. And then they've got a list here of what the different icons are, and some of these are composites because you have background frames and then a character. And I've waited so long for these that I feel I have a personal stake in these icons. I mean, these are really rare. I mean, everyone online, when they see your icon, will be happy to meet you. Now, most of these icons and backgrounds and frames are only like 5 to 10 platinum points, so it doesn't take much to grab them. But hopefully they'll add some more Zelda icons because these are just really prime. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? Are you looking to get that special edition version of Xenoblade Chronicles 3? And what are your thoughts on what we've seen from Sonic Frontiers so far? Make sure to drop a comment below about those topics or anything else we covered today. I want to thank you for watching, and be good.